Good day and welcome to a Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at everything you need to know to begin your journey with Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, understanding how it all works, how to unlock heroes, everything you need to know so that you can begin your journey and have a good understanding of the game. Now let's talk the overview. Gekishin Squadra is a 4v4 MOBA game. Think more Pokemon Unite than League of Legends and Dota. It is a simplified version of a MOBA that focuses mainly on the action gameplay and the combat mechanics, more so than it focuses on item and hero integration. Right now there are a few select game modes, and the game does not have a fully fledged rank mode yet, but all of these things will come with time. When you begin your journey, it's important to take note of a couple things. Firstly, let's talk about understanding heroes. Heroes are your main characters that you use in the course of Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Yes, even the villains are called heroes. When it comes to heroes, there are three main archetypes: damage, tanks, and technicals. Technicals, probably better known as supports or utility characters, tanks being characters that are tanky and used as frontliners in terms of group combat, and then you also have damage, who obviously, needless to say, are there to do damage. Each roster has a selection of characters right now, and each character has their own unique passive and abilities. We'll talk about that a little bit more onwards. When you play the game, it is important to understand what character's role you are choosing. Technical characters are blue, tanks are green, damage are red. When choosing your character, make sure that you are willing to play the role required of you. Tank characters will be required to initiate fights. Technical characters will be required to move from lane to lane, supporting their teammates. And damage characters are meant to, well, do damage. Along with heroes, we also have helpers. Helpers are what I would consider support items. If you play Dota or League of Legends, these are similar to things like Flash, or are similar to things like your Blink. These are very special helpers that each role has access to. You will unlock them through a collection system called the Star Collection System, which we'll talk about just now. But helpers are essentially rechargeable, one-off use abilities. They can do things like temporarily increase your defense within an area, increase your damage temporarily. They can cause enemies to take more damage. They can give you abilities to increase movement speed. They do a lot of different things. Now, how do you acquire heroes and helpers? Well, as I mentioned before, the main method is the Star Collection System. The Star Collection System is based on your characters and their own individual progression. We'll talk about that a little bit just now. But basically, as you upgrade the character's stars, you will collect them in total, and this will allow you to unlock more heroes and helpers. You can, of course, just buy heroes, but we'll talk about that just now. So let's talk about understanding our heroes and their basics. Heroes have certain stats, and within hero archetypes there are different types of playstyles. For example, Goku is a melee damage dealer, whereas Piccolo is more a ranged damage dealer. In the same way, tanks and technicals will have different styles of play within their own archetypes. Every character has a passive, and all characters who have transformations will transform at level 7 or have the ability to do so. Transformations generally give stat boosts, but that doesn't mean that necessarily just because you transformed, you're better than a non-transforming component. Those characters usually start out stronger or scale better with levels. Characters have one passive. This affects how their gameplay style is. For example, Vegeta gains armor based on how many enemies he hits with his abilities, and then their abilities will upgrade as you see fit. Now you have an option to automatically upgrade them or manually do so. This will obviously be dependent on your experience with the game. We'll talk about that just now. But you will always have 4 abilities per character. Every character will have 3 standard abilities and 1 ultimate ability that will recharge accordingly based on their passive and gameplay style. Every character also comes with a dash/vanishing step function, which will allow them to dart in and out of combat while it's on recharge. So what are star grades? Well, you'll see star grades as a upgrade option for characters. Star grades do not increase the character's stats. For example, if we take a look at Vegeta and we upgrade his star grade, you will notice that his stats will not increase. But upgrading stars does do a couple things. Firstly, it assists you with star collection. All your total stars across all your characters will tally up for your star collection, which will unlock more heroes and more helpers. And on top of that, it will unlock more customization options for your character. It will also update their portrait in the hero section. Star upgrades are based on having hero shards and Zeni, or alternatively you can use premium currency. Hero shards are obtained when you win a match. So when you win a match or lose a match, you have a chance to obtain hero shards. They do not necessarily arrive for the character that you are playing. So if I play Vegeta in a match, I can still get Krillin's hero shards, which is very interesting. Once you have started to upgrade these stars for your character, you will unlock more customization options, which will allow you to alter that character's appearance, kill log, etc. So let's talk briefly about the progression systems. Because the characters are unlocked through the star collection, if you are playing without the utilization of premium currency, or you don't wish to use premium currency to unlock characters, your main focal point of progression will be star collection. This will require you to play matches, upgrade your characters that you do earn or have unlocked, and get their stars together so that you can unlock more characters and get more items. In the course of this, you'll get lots of different materials like premium capsules, standard capsules. There are also missions. Missions contribute rank EXP to your account, and also contribute on top of that EXP to your battle pass. Your battle pass is obviously, as always with these games, a standard battle pass. So this will upgrade as you play more. Right now there's only a standard free-to-play version. The premium version that you can unlock with premium gems will become available at a later date. You then also have an account rank. This will be based on your performance in matches and how well you do and how many matches you play. So what are the currencies and what is the whole purpose of the currency system, and how do we go about enjoying our characters and our gameplay? So our main focal point in terms of the options in Gekishin Squadra is customization. We have various ways to achieve this. The first ways, and the ways players will get cumbersome with the most, are the two types of capsules. We have standard normal capsules. These are more frequent, they're unlocked from battle pass, winning matches, etc. And they will give you color variants for characters. We then have premium capsules. These are also obtained from battle passes and can be purchased, of course, as everything. And these will unlock special animations for your characters. So they'll unlock end screens, win screens, different conditions, different alternative win screens and end screens, and all those sort of things. In terms of skins currently at this point in time are only purchasable with premium currency, or alternatively EX shards. Premium currency skins require you to buy the premium dragon gems, obviously, and they can be purchased direct with those gems. The EX skins, which are adaptations of the currently available premium currency skins with the EX tokens, are obtainable for when you get duplicates of items. So if I get a duplicate color variant for a character I have, I will get one EX token. If I save up enough, I will be able to purchase some of those skins. So the last but not least is obviously mentioning the battle pass again. We will have a premium version of this that will come out. It is obviously anticipated that this will give you a ton of rewards. Whether that is premium currency or skins will probably be likely, and we'll have to wait and see. So let's talk about starting a match. When you start a match, you need to select a role. This will tie you to a roster of characters that you have in that role. So if I have 6 damage characters, I can choose from those 6 damage characters. Each player can only play one type of the character, and when you start the match, you need to choose your game mode. Right now there's standard battle, quick battle, and land grab. Both quick battle and land grab will not add rank to your account, and there is no currently identifiable ranked only mode. They will add custom battles later, as well as more than likely a more official ranked mode for players to invest in who are highly competitive. Before we begin talking about gameplay, I want to mention the Divine Dragon combo cards, or Divine combo cards, and the Divine Dragon modifiers. The Divine combo cards are what I would consider small passives that players can pick up through the course of battle. They obtain these from fighting other players, getting KOs, and fighting in battles. These cards run on timers, but they can activate at certain points to give you additional boosts, benefits to help you to win matches, counteract other players. You can select these for your character when you are ready, but for now, once you have them unlocked, just set them to auto to make your life easier. But we'll talk about that just now. The last thing to mention is Divine Draw. Divine Draw is a set of modifiers that will apply to each and every single one of your matches in Gekishin Squadra. These modifiers can do simple things like boosting the damage of everyone's slot 1 super ability, or they can add more clouds onto the battlefield. They can add different modifiers, they can put different items on the field, and this is to spice up the individual gameplay in each match. When you are in a match, you'll see the Divine Draw cards that have been given for the gameplay, so you can obviously adjust your strategy or hero selection accordingly. When you see these, you will then be brought to your hero selection screen, where you will be tied into whatever role you've been given. For example, I have a tank character role, so I need to select Vegeta. When you are here, you have the option to put learn skills and acquire cards on auto or manual. For players who are more experienced and who have played a lot of matches, manual is definitely the way to go, as controlling when you unlock and level up abilities is very crucial. However, when you first start Gekishin Squadra, make sure both of these are always set to auto until you have familiarized yourself with the Divine cards, as well as also familiarized yourself with the abilities of your characters and others. So let's talk the objectives. It's very simple. Each lane has 2 Gods of Destruction, 1 per team, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. When Zeno is attacking a God of Destruction, you will be able to damage them with your abilities. Once you have defeated 2 Gods of Destruction within a lane, you will then have the ability to take out the protective shield around the Dragon Ball and pick it up and win. Zeno will spawn sporadically on a timer, but defeating other enemies will allow you to accelerate that timer. Sounds simple, but it can be a little bit more complicated. Let's talk early game and understanding lanes. There are 2 main lanes in Gekishin Squadra. Those are the little pathways at the top and bottom of the map. These are where your Gods of Destruction are, who will provide healing towards you, as well as also protection, depending on the modifiers from Divine Dragon Draw. In the lanes, you will have clouds, which provide cover and visibility. They obscure you from enemies and their abilities. And you will find mobs. Mobs are the little characters that you can take out. Mobs vary. There are some with large EXP, less EXP, but ultimately your main goal early game is to defeat as many of them as possible, as that is how you level up. And levels in Gekishin Squadra are the most important aspect of power gain in the match. You can be more skilled, but a 2 level difference in this game is a very big thing. So making sure that you are leveled and constantly leveling is the most important thing early game. Don't prioritize fighting the enemy like you see here. Make sure you're farming as many mobs as possible and competing with the enemy for the valuable mob packs you find in lane. There's also the jungle, which we'll talk about a little bit. That is the area between both lanes that will become usable as you enter the mid game. Fighting other enemies is pretty straightforward, and fighting mobs in general is pretty simple. If you hold down your auto attack button, it will show the radius of your attack. Any other attack you use will also show the radius on the bottom. As you upgrade abilities, a lot of them will increase their range. Fighting enemy heroes requires you to deplete their health to 0. While you are fighting enemy heroes, you will unlock the ability to use your Divine Dragon cards. These will give you more passives, and you can accelerate their gain and leveling up by defeating more enemies, especially hero enemies. In the beginning, keep it on the auto, but like I said, once you're familiar, you're going to want to switch that to manual, because you're going to need to adjust those based on your position in the game, where you are, etc. For example, if I'm falling behind and I feel like I'm not very tanky, I may want to select more green cards, as that will give me more tanky abilities, allowing me to potentially survive the nukes the enemy is throwing at me. While you are fighting, pay attention to the floor. Red markers indicate enemy attacks, whereas green or blue markers indicate your allies or your own attacks. Obviously, be mindful always of AoE or other potential enemy abilities. As you fight, note that while you are moving, if you are hit by any abilities, you will have your movement speed impaired. However, your movement speed will increase should you be able to continue for a short while in a singular distance. So this is very important. Farming mobs, moving throughout the lanes is very important early game. But in the mid game, it's going to be where things get interesting. This is where we talk about the jungle. There are boss mobs. Now the boss mobs exist in two locations. There's one at the top of the map, by the top lane, and one at the very bottom of the map. These are usually Nappa, for example. And what these bosses do is when you defeat them, they will attack a god of destruction and do a significant portion of damage. However, in the jungle, you will find a boss mob. This can be Jacko the Galactic Patrolman or Ribrianna, and when you defeat these bosses, you will get huge team-wide buffs for your team. Movement speed, damage, health regen, very similar to dragon buffs in terms of League of Legends, or obviously the Roshan buffs from Dota. Late game and the mid game are capitalized by constantly moving around the map. You want to take out both sets of lanes on either side. The reason for this is because it gives you two avenues to enter your enemy's base. But you only need one lane to be empty to be able to take out the shield around the Dragon Ball. Once the shield on the Dragon Ball is down, you can pick up the Dragon Ball and claim victory. Be careful because the endgame moves very quickly. Once you start getting to the level 10s and 11s, players start to have respawn time counts of about 30 seconds, and winning team fights or just taking out one or two of the opposition basically can guarantee a very quick victory. Taking out the shields and the gods of destruction is not so hard when you're so powerful. Ultimately, that covers pretty much everything you need to know as a beginner. If you need any more help, you can let me know in the comments down below. I will do some more videos on Gekishin Squadra, giving players more information and a bit more of an advanced guide at some point. But for now, this should get you through.